You have been warning at rallies recently that this election is rigged and that Hillary Clinton is in the process of trying to steal it.
If you look at your voter rolls, you will see millions of people that are registered to vote that shouldn't be registered to vote. Let me just give you one other thing. So I talk about the corrupt media, I talk about the millions of people. Tell you one other thing. If you look at what came out today on the clips, where I was wondering what happened with my rally in Chicago and other rallies where we had such violence. She's the one in Obama that caused the violence. They hired people, they paid them $1,500, and they're on tape saying, be violent, cause fights, do bad things.
I am a guerrilla journalist. I also consider myself somewhat of a community organizer. I don't organize people to register to vote. We don't play defense. One of the best ways we've done this is on the issue of voter integrity.
The Project Veritas DNC videos were released on YouTube in October 2016. Given the nature of YouTube as a social sharing platform, to the unsuspecting observer, the sudden appearance of these videos seemed quite spontaneous and organic, but actually it was an extremely calculated drop, precisely timed just ahead of the final presidential debate between Trump and Clinton 1 month before the election. Ahead of the release of the videos, James O'Keefe called all of his contacts in conservative media to ensure that they would help him traffic the videos all over the web. Those who received a personal link from James included the head editors at Breitbart.com, Joel Pollack and Alexander Marlowe, conservative media mogul Matt Drudge, Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity at Fox News, alt-right YouTube personality Gavin McInnes, and Lee Habib, the vice president of a network of 22 conservative Christian radio stations across the country.
You have to either be blind or liberal to not have heard about the video that James O'Keefe released today, a 10-minute video that premiered at Breitbart. I just got off the phone with my friend James O'Keefe. You can help James O'Keefe right now. If you go over to my timeline, Britt Hume from Fox News is complained basically that James O'Keefe is complaining that the video isn't aired. He's saying he needs to check it out.
The protesters are paid a lot of money by the DNC, and I kept saying, I wonder why those people are here, because they never seem to have much on their mind other than stand up and protest. And yesterday it came out, but it was barely covered.
Nearly a year and a half ago, reports of violence at Trump rallies have surfaced again and again.
I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
But now the controversial undercover conservative group Project Veritas has released a video that it claims shows Democratic operatives conspiring to incite violence at Trump events. It's a process called bird dogging, where the trained provocateurs infiltrate political rallies, then provoke supporters into acting out.
Bird dogging is when a person is placed at an event near the front so they can ask leading questions or cause trouble. Project Veritas claims Teter was planted at the rally by a Democratic super PAC intent on causing violence at Trump events.
Remember this woman? Her name is Shirley Teter.
She was one of our activists.
She was one of your activists
who had been trained up to bird dog.
I'm about to head to a debate watch party. I'm sure going to be watching the debate tonight. And one of the questions that for sure is going to come up is talking about the idea of a rigged election.
You have been warning at rallies recently that this election is rigged and that Hillary Clinton is in the process of trying to steal it from you.
What does rigged mean to you? What do you think a rigged election means? When the demonstrations, the violent protest, have been planned and paid for by the Democrats and Hillary Clinton, that's rigged, right? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? I won't know till you tell me on Twitter.
Tweet this video at them with the hashtag bird dogging. And let's get these organizations, these media companies, to overcome their fear and to report the truth, because this is big. This is probably the biggest thing we've ever done. We have another one coming tomorrow, and we need a groundswell of people to break their dam and to push the water over the dam. This is important. Please, Tweet at these people with the hashtag bird dogging.
Ladies and gentlemen, just tuning in, Alex Marlow and James O'Keefe here. O'Keefe exclusive video sting: Democrats plot violence at Trump rallies. Incredible that Breitbart got a chance to be a part of breaking the story yesterday. One of the highest click stories we've ever had on our front page. We got James O'Keefe on the line. If it wasn't for you, I might be some miserable lawyer right now. I had started with Andrew Breitbart, and he had this dream of building conservative website, but his first major scoops were with the Acorn scandal, where you took out Acorn and the Association for Community Organizing and Reform Now. James, my friend, it is your latest videos at Project Veritas are some of your strongest work to date, and I just hope you're incredibly proud of what you're accomplishing.
Well, thanks, Alex. That means a lot coming from you. My team is proud and tired. We just stayed up all night putting the finishing touches on part 2, which will come out today. Alex, I've never seen anything like this. This has become sort of an internet phenomenon.
Yes, the lead story, Breitbart.com. Those of you who are paying attention, you can see that James O'Keefe gets another scalp. Subject of undercover video ousted from Lee Stranahan. Let's back up a little bit, James. I started the broadcast way back at 6 a.m. Discussing the video, playing some clips from it. They are putting in massive amounts of resources to quite aggressively create violence during the Trump rallies and then plan to blame them on Trump.
I'm going to activate our army, and I'm going to flood the inboxes of these journalists. I'm going to shame them. If nothing else, they'll respond to the tweet.
We are really honored to have my old friend and colleague, James O'Keefe, who I met many years ago when he was trying to find out some place to sleep and scrounge a steak. And now he has really distinguished himself. I think James O'Keefe deserves enormous accolades for getting the information out there to the American people. So welcome to the Stone Zone, James O'Keefe III.
Hello, Roger. It's great to be with you, and thank you for those kind words.
I am very impressed with the work that you and your team have done, the professionalism of the people you have surrounded yourself as you have grown and gotten better and better organized, and who have really, I think, made your mark in this election.
What we showed in all of the videos was that there was a massive effort to incite violence at Trump rallies and get violence. So all of the things you saw in Chicago and Arizona and North Carolina with Shirley Teter getting punched in the face, this was all manipulative behavior. Some have said what we have exposed makes the Watergate scandal look like petty shoplifting, because
a third-rate burglary, as it were.
A third-rate burglary is the words that you've used.
I'm proud to be your friend. I'm proud of the work you have done. I urge people, send a check to Project Veritas. These guys know what they're doing.
It's very clear Democratic operatives were plotting ways that they could commit widespread voter fraud. Watch this video.
You know, what do you need to be able to vote in some of these new voter? What do you really need, okay? What makes you a citizen? Yeah. And if you look at that checklist, it's an ID card of any kind that shows you who you are. Right. And a pay stub that shows you're getting paid at a local address someplace.
I mean, to get registered.
Yeah, to get registered.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we've got the video and we got the connections where the money comes from the campaign. It goes to the DNC, it goes to the Democracy Project, and it goes right to these dark arts political operatives that are fomenting, basically violence at Trump events.
This is your latest investigation that came out. You already mentioned it.
The first video was about the conspiracy, the dark money conspiracy to induce violence at Trump rallies.
Trying to get women beat up. I mean, talk about criminal. Talk about bullying. Set this up for us.
It looks like something out of The Usual Suspects. He's describing how he goes out and he induces what happens at these rallies. Specifically when it comes to women, he tries to get women bullied. And we talk about the war against women. I'd love to hear what Hillary Clinton has to say about this one.
Here is the latest Veritas bombshell.
I mean, I know things that like make big impacts. I think of like, I think it was like a woman, older woman, who was like attacked at a Trump rally.
Not tooting your horn, just breaking down the chain of events. You guys have been mirroring, I guess without even knowing, the intel WikiLeaks has, but then showing it in the real world, confirming it in triplicate. And then you've also, again, have Hillary confirmed in the videos that she's giving the direct orders, and what Hillary wants, she gets.
I thought the voter fraud is important. The inducement of violence at the protests, that's a smoking gun.
Basically illicit attacks on women, or having security drag out women that were causing disturbances. I mean, this is premeditated. This is absolutely criminal.
I want you to take me through this, James, so everybody understands what's going on here. That essentially they boss people to a polling station, they ferry them inside, they get inside, there's no voter ID, so they just walk in and vote, get back on the bus, go someplace else and vote again.
Dead people's ballots were offered out to anybody in Brooklyn. There's been a lot of voter fraud. People shouldn't be allowed to go from borough to borough and vote where they don't live. If you're a deceased, your name is still on the rolls, people can get offered your ballot. You can just walk up and say anyone's name.
Mr. O'Keefe, thank you very much for being with us and pointing this out. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I've got some news, too, to tell you about. What happens in Vegas, they say, won't stay in Vegas, as the country will be tuning in to watch Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton in their final presidential debate.
This is part one of our undercover investigation into the dark backroom deal.
And the October surprises keep piling up. Project Veritas packing a 1-2 punch against Hillary Clinton and Democrats. First releasing undercover video of Democrat operatives working with the Clinton campaign who organized chaos at Trump rallies. Then video of a Democratic election official in New York City detailing voter fraud.
And President Obama Tuesday was taking shots at Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump, rejecting his claims of widespread voter fraud, even though examples of fraud have been popping up around the country.
But the truth is, they have identified, or there has been identified, up to 4 million people who are not qualified to be voting. So they are loading the voting rules. You know, there was a young man here in Virginia who, just as a joke, but he started registering dead people, and for a time got away with it.
If a person walked in to vote in the 2012 New Hampshire presidential primary and said the names of multiple dead people, I'm James O'Keefe reporting from North Carolina. There are more than 700,000 inactive voters in the state, according to the Voter Integrity Project. These are people the state has essentially lost, which creates a recipe for voter fraud on a massive scale. Don't believe it? Project Veritas Action has proven it. Watch how many ballots I get offered from election officials throughout the state.
For 15 years, James O'Keefe has created content related to voter fraud.
For example, Timothy Tebow.
Just like we had one person, Thomas Brady.
Thomas Brady can't come in.
He's going through a lot of depression. He can't come in.
Time and time again, he and his operatives have walked up to the line of committing voter fraud while claiming to expose it.
All we need to do is to have you verify that you are who you say you are.
Okay, I would just feel more comfortable if I had passports. Okay. I'd go get my passport.
James and his operatives know that if they sign their names, they themselves are responsible for a fraud.
Here. You can just draw it for me?
Here, put your hand on mine. You can sign and then initial. Or, yeah,
I'll tell
sign
you what,
initial.
I'm not comfortable with that. I'm going to get my ID, bring that in here, we'll do that.
What James is exploiting is the trust given to responsible Americans. It means that responsible citizens are to be honest.
You know what? Hang on. I actually think I left my wallet in my car. I don't have ID on my person.
And coming up next.
A bearded 23-year-old white man went to Holder's voting precinct here in Northwest D.C. and was offered Holder's D.C. primary ballot to vote in that election.
You have an Eric Holder?
The actor confirms the address.
Please sign me there.
I actually forgot my ID.
You don't need it, sorry. As long as you're in here, you're on our list, and that's who you say you are. You're okay.
I would feel more comfortable if I just had my IDs. I'll be back faster than you can say furious.
We're not going.
This is a great moment. So after this happened, the Attorney General was called to testify.
You know, I mean, it's an attempt to show something, I suppose, but I think what I drew from that video was that that guy was very careful not to say he was Eric Holder, not to actually get a ballot.
Did you get a call when the young man presented himself to pick up Attorney General Eric Holder's ballot here a couple of months ago? Was that something that was brought to your attention? I know that film, the video of that, came before this committee about a month ago.
What James does is erode the trust that was given to every citizen by our Constitution. You might say that it's this trust, given to responsible individuals, that unites us as citizens. By trying to expose corruption for billionaires, O'Keefe and his comrades at Citizens United Productions have worked to erode trust in our democratic system, and in each other as citizens of the United States of America.
It took James O'Keefe to get this acorn issue brought before America, and I carry this acorn in my pocket every day to remember what happens to the foundation of American liberty when you have corrupt elections, when you have elections and votes that are being disenfranchised by fraudulent votes.
The attack on Acorn in 2009 was an attack on voting. It's the primary reason for James O'Keefe to start Project Veritas in 2010 while on probation. Over the years, Project Veritas has blurred the lines with regard to issues such as teachers' unions, immigration, and transgender rights. In fact, if you think about it, James O'Keefe, in the last 15 years, has poured gasoline on the culture wars, while sowing mistrust in democracy itself.
If you look at what came out today on the clips, where I was wondering what happened with my rally in Chicago and other rallies where we had such violence. She's the one in Obama that caused the violence.
James O'Keefe right over there that did the video.
He did a great job, and I think, listen, he's doing the American people a great service.
I've worked hundreds of campaigns over the years. I've never seen money stretch as far and make as much of an impact as I have at Project Veritas. Here's an example of some of the impact we've had at Veritas. Multiple congressional hearings have been held as a result of our videos, including over voter ID, over border security. Voter ID laws have been passed in multiple states as a direct result of our videos.
A good description, a good analogy would be to compare him to the special forces.